Hey everybody, this is Gigok7. Welcome back to more Pokemon Stadium. In this episode, we're going to be taking on the Viridian gym with its gym leader Giovanni. And in today's episode, we are not going to discover something about an in-depth Pokemon mechanic. Once again, I just want to talk a little bit about just Pokemon itself, really. You'll know what I'm talking about when I'm there. Alright, so we're going to pick our team for today. Alright, so first up we want a ground-type Pokemon that has strong rock and ground-type moves. Now, preferably I would want Golem, but it is actually quite a bit of a disadvantage if you have Dig in your team. So because of that, we are going with its pre-evolution, Graveler. Alright, so next up we want a Pokemon that is of Psychic type or has a Psychic type move. And the Pokemon we're going to be using for today are Starmie, Haunter, and Jinx. And last up, we want an Electric type Pokemon, preferably one with a really high speed. And for today, we want the fastest Pokemon that's out there, Electrode. And the very last Pokemon we want for today is a Water type Pokemon. Now, I want one that can tank lots of hits, and for that, we want Lapras. And this is going to be the team we use for today. Let's go to the Viridian gym battles. Now, for this first battle, we want Electrode first, Starmie second, and Haunter last for its Ghost type. You'll see why in just a moment. Alright, let's go. Alright. So when you see Persian, you just wanna thunder it. And I think it's now time for the summary of today, which is going to be Venusaur. Alright, the summary of Venusaur, who is a grass poison type Pokemon with the move Leech Seed, Poison Powder, Takedown, and Solar Beam. Its stats are HP 80, Attack 82, Defense 83, Special 100, and Speed 80. In future generations, he will have a special attack and special defense of both 100. Recommended moveset would be Razor Leaf for the critical hit ratio, Sleep Powder, Sword Stance, and Body Slam. Optionally, you can also teach it Double Edge, Hyper Beam, Leech Seed, Mega Drain, Reflect, Growth, Solar Beam, Substitute, or Toxic. Venusaur is not really used in competitive play, not even Mega Venusaur, which I find a real shame. What I find special about Venusaur is that it's not that slow. It has higher speed than Exeggutor and Blastoise actually. Even though Venusaur doesn't have hands or swords of any kind, it can actually use Sword Dance, doubling its attack. And a Sword Dance Venusaur can actually 2-hit KO a Chansey with Body Slam. And the move has a 30% chance of paralyzing the opponent. Razor Leaf can almost 1-hit KO Starmie because of Sword Dance attack stat boost or the critical hit damage boost. However, you can't boost the effect of Razor Leaf's critical hit damage because it ignores stat changes. When you use a Venusaur, be careful of Alakazam, Gengar, Starmie with Blizzard, Exeggutor, and Jinx. Alright, the summary of Venusaur should now be over. Now, something dangerous about the Persian we just faced was that, well, it's a really fast Pokemon, and it's dangerous to throw out Graveler against it because it also has Bubble Beam, and it's also dangerous against Starmie because it has Thunder. So, that's why we want Haunter, so it can't use its Body Slam. It can only do its Thunderbolt and, Thunder and Bubble Beam. But other than that, this battle should not be that much of a problem. There's Parasect, which can be annoying, but is not so much dangerous. Moltres is really hard to take down. It takes like 2 Thunders and a Bubble Beam from Starmie, and like 2 Thunders from Electrode, maybe 3. So anyway, let's get on with the commentary of today. So, I just want to talk about Pokemon. And Pokemon started out as this simple idea of someone that collected bugs, and it has turned out into a franchise worth millions of copies, you know, every few years. Well, whenever a new Pokemon game comes out, it sells in masses. And it all started with this little black and white sprite game, which implemented all the RPG elements just right. There were of course a few flaws in the battle system, and only a few Pokemon were competitively viable, but overall they got a lot of things just right, in my opinion. So let's continue the commentary when the next battle starts. Alright, for this battle, we want Starmie, Graveler, and Haunter once again. Alright, let's go. So, Pokemon also, for me, introduced, you know, splitting Pokemon between Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, and having to trade with someone else to get your Pokédex completed. And for the time, that was a pretty brilliant idea to sell more games, and of course to get people to contact each other to trade Pokemon. And now it has... oh, excuse me. When you see Magneton, you want to switch out to Graveler, because Magneton can't do much damage against Graveler, can do a lot of damage against Starmie. So, you now have a main series Pokemon games, and you have a bunch of spin-off games, and those games have spanned a lot of different genres, like the standard RPG of the main games. I believe there's a Pokemon pinball game, there's Pokemon Snap, and even Detective Pikachu, and crossovers like Pokemon Conquest. Now, this is a very odd and new situation for me. I've never seen him switch back and forth like that. Let's do the same thing ourselves, I guess. This is new. So, Pokemon is a franchise that has really expanded and kept bringing up new ideas to the table, like double battles, triple battles, rotation battles, Z moves, mega evolutions, and so much more, I guess. In Pokemon Sun and Moon are the latest installments, and they've brought some new stuff to the table, like, you know, Z moves. But I was really curious about how, you know, how these change would, how do I say this? How this change would affect the casual players and the competitive players. You know, both of them. Because despite all the changes, the Pokemon games have remained playable for everyone, but thanks to competitive mechanics like base stats, IVs, EVs, abilities, and all that, the games also are so interesting competitively. And that's a really hard balance to strike. Nintendo does a good job at this for some reason. So this is why you actually want Earthquake, because in this battle, the Magneton is going to do Double Team. So wasting an extra turn with Dig is going to lower your, higher the opponent's evasion, which will make you miss more. Okay, so Graveler is faster than Lickitung, so you can technically beat it with 2 Earthquakes, but again, Lickitung can beat us with 1 Blizzard, technically. with a good damage roll. And it was frozen rock solid. That is a new situation once again. I've done so much test plays, but this hasn't happened. Let's see. Okay, this has turned stupid. We want Haunter. And now it uses Blizzard instead of just KOing Graveler when it's frozen. Talk about kicking a man when he's down. Paralyzed, that's great. And it uses Double Team again. You know, I really wonder how they did the Double Team animation. You know, did they just copy the model and make it transparent to make it seem like there's 3 licky tongues at some point? I find those sort of things really interesting to think about. Alright, but that was the second battle. And we're off to the third battle. Now, for this battle, we want Starmie, Graveler for the Zapdos, even though it has a Tentacruel and an Omastar, which are going to give trouble to Graveler. And we want Electrode. Okay, so when you see Zapdos with Starmie, you want to switch to Graveler because it's going to do Thunderbolt, I believe, or Thunder. And that's not going to affect Graveler. And when it sees Graveler, it is going to do things like Fly. Or it's going to switch out to something like Clefable. In both situations, Graveler can defeat one Pokemon. So as expected, this was going to happen. So when it comes down, it's going to eat a Rock Slide, which is going to do a lot of damage. So the Pokemon games, they have utilized different forms of data communication, you know, over the link cables, over infrared, over, I think it's Bluetooth, I believe, and of course over Wi-Fi. You know, you trade your Pokemons using those methods, and you battle using those methods. And the games have even encouraged us to go outside with Pokemon Go and the old Pokewalker from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Alright, that was nice. You know, the Pokemon franchise has spanned different anime series, different manga series, and of course the movies. Twitch Plays Pokemon was the most watched channel on Twitch at some point. And there's massive amounts of Pokemon merchandise. I mean, there's even women undergarments for of Pokemon that I would totally buy for my girlfriend if I have one. Okay, seriously, how do you get back on topic after saying that? Oh god, people are going to call out blasphemy for this. Pokemon, and especially Pikachu, are such iconic, like Mario and Pac-Man. There's over 800 Pokemon if you count Pokemon Sun and Moon, I believe. You know, there were quite entertaining theories that Pokemon Sun and Moon would be the climax of the series. And that the franchise would reboot. No, I'm personally okay if that was true. But I would also miss the old format if it was indeed true. If the next iteration of Pokemon is completely different from what we're used to, you know, that's fine. I'm wondering where Pokemon will be in a few years. Hopefully as strong as it is right now, with enthusiastic people like me making videos about it. Let's see. Maybe we can sacrifice Graveler. Can we do something like self-destruct? Do we have enough HP for that? Self-destruct. It's too slow, so it's going to just bind it to death. Alright, Electrode. I hope a Swift can defeat it. I think I've said everything that I wanted for today about Pokemon. You know, I've said enough praise. I can go on for hours about how great the franchise is, but I think I'll leave it at that for today. Oh, unfortunately that did not KO. That does a lot of damage. We're lucky that Zapdos and Moltres didn't come out today. Alright, and that was the third battle of the day. Alright, for this final battle, this can be quite dangerous, especially when Persian and Taurus get into play. So you want Starmie, Haunter, and Lapras. Alright, final battle of the final gym. Let's go.
This is it, the final gym leader, Giovanni, the dawn of ground Pokemon. The challenger has to work hard for the win.
Alright. When Starmie sees Persian, you want to switch out to Haunter because it's going to do, I believe, Body Slam or Slash. Having Graveler on your team is going to be dangerous because of things like Bubble Beam.
Here's the first move. Oh, the attack missed. Are they
And you want to do Thunderbolt, which is going to do the most damage. If you really would like to, you can do Confuse Ray. But I'm not very confident in it today.
what now?
Luckily, Persian does not have that much of a high special, so we will outdamage it.
What a furious battle.
Fortunately, we aren't faster than it. And hopefully, he'll get paralyzed. A critical hit. Oh, goodness.
What's next?
We can survive one more Thunderbolt if it's not a critical hit, I believe. But the thing is that Persian has a high base speed, so it has a higher chance of doing a critical hit again. Alright, we survived. That's great. Alright, and if Taurus is not on Giovanni's chosen team, the rest of this battle should not be too difficult. Nidoking, alright. We can do Psychic on it, which will do a lot of damage.
The remaining Pokemon count is 3-2.
Alright, hopefully this can be a critical hit. I called it, that was pretty nice. It sure didn't.
There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokémon.
Now, can we do it without losing a Pokemon?
Oh, it's right on.
No, unfortunately not. If we switch to Starmie, we will get a lot of damage done to us, because I believe it has Earthquake. So we're just going to do Psychic and do as much damage as we can.
What'll it do?
Unfortunately, we will get KO'd. But we've done some nice chip damage to it for Starmie to finish this off.
Oh!
Or even Lapras if we want to. But I want to go with Start now. Alright, the final hit of the final gym, battle. And this has been the Viridian Gym. Alright, good job. 8 gym towers completed. Now an even greater challenge awaits us. Viridian Gym Battle clear. Receive the key from Giovanni and open the gate to the Lost Castle. Now one thing I want to point out. Giovanni is spelled with 2 N's right there. In all other instances it's spelled with 1 N. So I believe this is the very first instance of a typo in this game. I haven't searched up, if there were any typos in this game, but I seem to have found one all by myself. So, you get some menacing music, and that is going to foreshadow the next episode of Pokemon Stadium. Next time, we're going to be taking on the Elite Four. This has been Kagoku7. See you guys next time.